This Ketel Marte drama has made me think about who in Arizona sports history has been the most, you can call it diva, you can call it the most distracting, you can call it the most detrimental player to an organization in recent Arizona sports history. And the actions of Ketel Marte, although significantly different in what they were, have unfortunately reminded me of a guy who tanked a really good Phoenix Suns team because of his inability to show up in the biggest moments for his team. Ketel Marte and Deandre Ayton are both ruining the 2020s for Arizona sports fans. Let me start with Ayton because it's also the same thing with Ketel Marte. So in 2021, DeAndre Ayton was one of the main reasons the Suns made the NBA Finals and where they ultimately lost to Milwaukee Bucks because Ayton didn't play well. Right? We all know that. But during that playoff run, we heard Bill Simmons and Ryan Russillo talk about, man, is DeAndre Ayton a top 20, top 30 player in the league right now? That's how good DeAndre Ayton was playing. I mean, as Suns fans, we were even tricking ourselves into saying, hey, Mavs fans, look at us. Look who really won. Look who really won that 2018 draft after all, huh? Our guys playing well. We're in the finals. Look at us, right? DeAndre Ayton was a huge reason why. He was incredible during the finals run. During the offseason, he didn't get the extension he wanted. In 2022, he went out and played his best season in the NBA. Field goal percentage off the charts. Defensive activity off the charts. He was focused more than, honestly, you look at who DeAndre Ayton was for that 2022 season and look at any other season he's played before or since then, you wouldn't recognize the guy. He wanted that $100 million contract so badly, and he was so locked in. The Suns won a franchise record 63 or 64 games and then looked poised to make another run to the NBA Finals in the playoffs. That is until Ayton, yet again, wet the bed, quit on his team, and ultimately got in an argument with Monty Williams and didn't even play the last half, which obviously was a meaningless half against the Dallas Mavericks. But you could tell that Ayton's actions and that there was a lot of buildup between Monty Williams and DeAndre Ayton. And Ayton had an outburst on the bench, fought with Monty Williams, and then it was like, oh man, here we go again. But the Phoenix Suns still decided to extend DeAndre Ayton because they really didn't have another choice. Although, if they had done a sign and trade for Miles Teller, who knows where this Phoenix Suns team could be right now. Tell you what, they'd be in a lot better position if they had done that than when they re-signed DeAndre Ayton. That's for dang sure. Okay, so, but that's not where the Ayton story ends. It's not where the Ayton story ends. The Ayton story continues because Ayton comes back. Things are testy at best between him and Monty Williams. They went a whole summer without speaking to each other. An entire summer, your franchise center and your head coach did not talk to each other. Now, Ketel Marte and Torey Lovello's situation, I'm sure, is very different. I don't think their relationship has ever been this fractured, although I will say, after Marte's actions, that's the type of thing that can ruin a relationship just as bad, if not worse, than Monty Williams and DeAndre Ayton's issues became. Okay, and then in that 2023 season, the Suns decide to trade for Kevin Durant. They trade Bridges, Johnson, Crowder for Durant. Ayton is still on the team with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. It was supposed to be this big 3.5, 4, depending on what Ayton you got. He didn't have as great of a season in 23 as he did in 22. But you were hoping, hey, we make it to the playoffs. We got playoff DA. We can make a run. And then what happens? In the Nuggets series, plays a couple games. He gets abused by Jokic. He sits out the rest of the series. It appeared as if he quit on his team again. Don't know that for a fact, but in my opinion, two back-to-back years where Ayton quits on his team during the playoffs, maybe three. I mean, I don't think he quit in 21, but he definitely was not physically tough enough to defend Giannis for an entire playoff series. So you could argue 2 or 3 years, Deandre Ayton was one of the main, if not the main reason why that the Phoenix Suns did not advance further in the playoffs, whether that was winning an NBA title or making it to at least the conference championship round. Now let's go through what Ketel Marte's done. So in 2023, Marte's followed a pretty similar script. Marte was one of, if not the main reason why the Diamondbacks made the World Series. He had a hit in every single postseason game during that 2023 run. He was the best hitter on the team. He's obviously a great defensive for second baseman. So as far as offensive guys go, Ketel Marte was the man during that 2023 run. Then he gets his extension in 2024. Marte has the drama at the end of the season where his teammates were mad that he sat out of games in September. Sounding familiar yet? Maybe a little diva energy there. Did he quit on his team? I'm not sure. He was probably injured. In my opinion, I'll give Ketel Marte much more benefit of the doubt than I will DeAndre Ayton. That's for dang sure. But then in 2025, Ketel Marte has the All-Star break fiasco where he doesn't show up, he's not in communication with the team, and is put on the restricted list. Diamondbacks go on to lose 8 of their 9 games right before the trade deadline. You could say that the cloud of Ketel Marte was hanging over that team as well. So while different, you can point to Ketel Marte being one of the main reasons why the Diamondbacks didn't make the playoffs either of those 2 years. And now, the Diamondbacks, who were the best team record-wise in July, coming off of a series win against Atlanta. Yes, they didn't play great against the Rockies, but had won pretty much every series before that since the All-Star break. They were playing their best baseball. And then in the snap of a finger, in one day, all the good vibes and the positive momentum that the Diamondbacks had going into the last 6 weeks of the season, gone. Evaporated. Fan base, enraged, disappointed. Torey Lovello almost crying during a post-game interview. Diamondbacks getting absolutely shelled 11-1. Errors by Corbin Carroll, Ryan Waldschmidt. Nolan Arenado's hurt, one of your best defenders. All of a sudden, what was looking to be a team that we could truly get behind and a team that we're all ready to believe can not just make the postseason, but make a postseason run. Ketel Marte spits on that, dumps on it, rains on the parade with his personal actions, his lack of professionalism. Now, do I think Ketel Marte is a better teammate than DA? I do. But the lack of professionalism, maybe the lack of mental maturity, I'll call it for lack of a better word. No, I think we can definitely point to Marte and DeAndre Ayton as two of the more immature but supremely talented players that we've had in Arizona sports over the last decade. So talented, so immature. And you can point directly to those two as to why the franchises are in the exact same situation. Now, does Marte get traded for a Yusuf Nurkic and Grayson Allen level players? Honestly, the Suns might get better value in a DeAndre Ayton trade than the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to get in a Ketel Marte trade at the end of the season. Should Mike Hazen have traded Marte last offseason? It was a topic that we talked about then, and it's a topic that's going to get revisited now because you look at what the Diamondbacks could have gotten back reportedly in the Ketel Marte trades versus what they'll probably get back should they decide to trade him this offseason. I think we'll be severely disappointed in the return because of this ginormous stain on Marte's career, his lack of professionalism. Now, are there teams that will still absolutely want to pursue him because of how special he is as a talent on the field? Potentially, but he also hasn't been as great offensively as he has been for the last 5 years. So there you have it. DeAndre and Ketel Marte. If you want to throw Kyler Murray in there, you point at those three and say, if those three guys had been more mature, more professional, although I would say Kyler's definitely a distant third behind those two. But if you had more professionalism and more maturity from DeAndre Ayton and Ketel Marte, how much better would things be for the Arizona Diamondbacks and Phoenix Suns right now? I'd argue a whole heck of a lot better.